Globally, over 37 million suffer from HIV, and 70% of those live in sub-Saharan Africa. Since the start of the epidemic in 1981, at least 35 million have died, and young people account for 1/3 of new HIV infections. What is the most effective solution to fight HIV? Uganda, as a nation, holds the world's greatest success in decreasing their HIV rate from 21% in 1991 to 5% in 2001. Today it is about 7%. Their method? Abstinence before marriage and faithfulness to one spouse in marriage with God's help. This was an international landmark achievement because it proved that sexual behavior can indeed be changed. In 2003, Dr. Kim Drnosek, an American dermatologist who specializes in treatment of both skin diseases and sexually transmitted infections, received a grant to further study HIV prevalence reduction strategies. While in Uganda, she was invited to speak.
I was in Kampala, Uganda at Makerere University giving my signature lecture, which was Teens and Sex, Reach Them Now or Treat Them Later. And at the podium, when the lecture was completed, I was surrounded by young, handsome Ugandan men who said they needed our help. And they started pulling out of their pockets these chastity cards, and they said that they needed to get these cards back to their rural areas because they had helped them so much. They, in fact, were going to give these cards to their spouses on their wedding days. And that got us right here. And we knew then we had to help the Ugandans. And that was the beginning of the nonprofit organization.
Probably the greatest thing is our message of abstinence, be faithful through Christ. We call that the ABC. And helping people lead healthy lives through this message.
That's where Universal Chastity Education, UCE for short, comes in. UCE has teams that conduct outreaches to schools or churches, often in remote areas. In Africa, it is an interactive 2 to 3 hour outreach session educating youth about the importance of abstinence before marriage and faithfulness to one spouse in marriage with God's help. At the end of the session, there is a question and answer period. Then the attendees are invited to sign a chastity pledge card to commit to this lifestyle. It's a message of love, hope, forgiveness, and second chances. Many sexually active students hear the message and decide to change to embrace chastity.
And we are going to every school, we are going to churches, we are going to villages, we are going to institutions giving this message of UCE. But put in mind, it's a Christian message we give across these people, because without God, we cannot manage.
Those who sign a card keep it with them as a reminder of their commitment. In Africa, they often give it to their spouse on their wedding day. Despite hardships such as poor roads, extreme poverty, broken families, and polygamy a cultural norm, UCE has had great success in Africa. An average of 40,000 chastity commitments are signed annually by youth in Uganda, Tanzania, and Burundi.
UCE is effective 100% because you are sure of what you are doing. You are sure. It's about me. If I believe it, 100% perfect.
The message actually comes back from Uganda and from Africa to us that the same thing can be effective for us. And that is, they have shown us the way. We simply have to accept that and do that.
Do the students keep their chastity commitments? This chart illustrates that after UCE teams visited, pregnancies decreased substantially in multiple schools. UCE also developed UCE clubs, which are formed following an outreach at some schools to encourage youth to continue their commitment with various activities that make it fun too.
We are here to encourage you that abstinence and faithfulness are the only way to live a healthy and happy life.
All of this is made possible by people like you since UCE accepts no public funding. UCE is a Christian interdenominational 501c3 nonprofit organization with Catholics, Anglicans, Lutherans, non-denominational Christians, and others working together for a common life-saving mission. Visit www.uceglobal.org for more information and to support UCE.
So what's UCE about? It's about the people of faith with reserve, financial reserve, helping the people of faith with resolve. And it's an opportunity for us to examine our own lives and consider where we really maybe need to learn from the Ugandans about chastity. It's a great effort.